Hi everyone, this is another Learn to Draw session from the Learn to Draw Grid Method Fairies book of mine. How are you doing everyone? Hope you're okay. My name's Tash, I'm from Heart and Design. This is one of my many Learn to Draw books. There's four books out there. I am updating them at the moment. So anyway, so far I have done in videos, we've done this cute little dragon. And we've done Mushroom Fairy House, which is over here. And today we're going to have a go at this colourful mushroom here. So all we need to start with is a pencil. Doesn't really matter which pencil, just make sure it's sharpened. So I'm going to give mine a sharpen. Make sure you have an eraser of some kind because you will need it. This is an electric eraser. If you've never seen them before, they're great. They do a great job and they're quite precise. And some kind of black liner pen. That's all you need for this session. Just to let you know, these are downloadable sheets as well, available on my website, and you can buy the books as actual books from various platforms on my link in bio, but also from the TikTok shop. Okay, so let's get started. Pencil in hand. Now, all we have to do is kind of look at where the lines are for the outline to start with. That's the most important part. And choose somewhere where you want to start. I'm going to start here because I can see this is where the curve of the mushroom kind of goes in line with the line that's already there. And then we're trying using little strokes like this to get the overall shape, and we're looking at the same grid number that you can see on the mushroom picture and trying to get the shape the same there. So here we're going to come about 2/3 of the way up and try and join down here, and we're just doing lots of little lines so that we can get it right but without committing to that firm line. We'll do that in the end. Now here we're going to come out quite a bit, and then we're going to come round down here, create a little corner on that part there where it crosses over, and then we're going to link up. That's basically the top of the mushroom done. So when you're transferring from a grid, that's how easy it is. Now what I would say is, when you've done this grid example, the next stage would be to draw a grid on some paper of your own, very lightly in pencil, then transfer the image just like we're doing now, go over it in pen so you don't lose the drawing, and then rub everything out, and then you'll have no grid, you'll have nothing, just your drawing. And then eventually your brain will get so good at seeing the shapes and the sizes of things that you hopefully will be able to have a go at drawing without a grid. This is the aim of these books, is to get you started, build your confidence up, and hopefully get you to a point where you can draw without the grid. But to be honest, when I'm painting, I still use the grid to transfer images. It helps me to make sure that everything's in place. So now I'm looking here to see where the windows are. Okay. Just a circle with a cross in the middle. And then the door is quite wonky, isn't it? So it kind of comes up and around and then down like that. But I think you could probably just make the door however you wanted it to be. I think that was quite wonky, but that's okay. And then we've got the door handle and then some lines. Don't forget you can actually go over the grid lines as well. Now we need to do the circles, so I'm going to do one here that kind of goes behind the grid a little bit. Again, you don't have to do them exactly where they are on your mushroom. You can do them anywhere you want. I'm kind of just drawing them anywhere now. So the next stage, because you have a colour image, it gives you an idea of how to colour it in. So the next stage is going to be to redraw it again onto some plain paper. I'm going to do that now. You won't need to see me do that on camera, and we'll head over to the colouring section. Okay, so I have drawn the image again and popped it on a new piece of paper. We've got rid of the grid, we've got rid of the pencil, now we've just got the line work. So now we're effectively turning our drawing into a colouring page. So what I'm going to do is quickly lay down, well, as quick as I can go with coloured pencil, which is one of the slower mediums. I mean, you could always paint it. You could draw it onto acrylic paper. You could draw it onto watercolour paper. There's all sorts of things, mediums you can use. So I'm just going to go around with my red pencil. Any red will do, any red that you've got. And just lay down as much colour as I can, as quick as I can. I'm getting some of the grain come through from my table because it's wooden, so I'm just going to get something to stop that from happening. You have a drawing board down there that has self-sticking mat, so I'll use that. It's nice and thick. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so it should come out a bit flatter now. That's better. I was getting far too much of the grain of the wood coming through. So you can see already the difference that makes. Be careful of what surface you are using. I often forget when I'm using plain paper not to do it directly on the table. So what I suggest you do, if you can, if you have the colours, if you pick out 2 or 3 shades of red, whatever you have, okay, because in a minute we're going to be doing the different values. So by that I mean the shading, the light and the dark. So for that we need 2, minimum 3 perfect colours, well, shades of the same colour. I'm sorry if you can hear that noise. I'm not sure what it is. There's something outside making a noise. Right, coming round. And I haven't been turning my pencil, so it will be quite a sharp red now as I turn. So I've got to be careful. You've got to keep turning your pencil so that you don't get that sharp point and then have a really kind of crisp. When you're shading, you don't want those crisp marks. You just want to keep turning that pencil and get just get a nice red down. There we go. It's a lot better. Now don't forget, when you're colouring, keep moving your paper, turn your paper round. That's perfectly okay to do that. In fact, it's natural. Your body can't contort itself in too many directions. Just going to go over it a bit with some other colour, with the same colour, just to darken it up a bit and to smooth out the colour a little bit. And don't forget to keep turning that pencil. Now I am going to come down here as though there's a bit of shadow in here and try and create a sense of shape now. Now to create the sense of shape and 3D-ness, that's where we need our light and dark colours. That's where that value comes in. I'm doing this very, very quickly, mind you, so please take your time on yours. If you're just new to adult colouring, you're just starting, welcome. This is a good place to start. Watch some of my videos, buy the book or the download, and you can get started on your journey. There's 4 themes to choose from in my book so far. There's summer, winter, Christmas, and fairies, which is what I'm doing now. And don't think, oh, it's for kids. It really isn't. This is fun for everyone, and it's switch off time. It's really good for our mental health, our well-being. Just to switch off and do something fun and easy and not too difficult, and develop your skills in something new. We need to keep our brain going. Right, so down here I've got a red that's a much darker red. Now what I'm going to do, to make these shapes look like they're 3D as I'm creating shadow now. I'm imagining the light's coming from above, and I'm going to create some shadow under each one. Okay, so I'm going to come this way, and all we're doing is just giving it an outline of that darker colour, but you'll see how it comes to life by doing that a bit. It makes those shapes look as though they're standing out and they're 3D. Hopefully you can see that effect working. Do the same up here. Need to be a bit thicker with this one, I think. Can't really see it. Okay, now we've done that, we can just blend that out a little bit just to create a sense of shadow. Okay, remember I'm doing this very quickly. I want these activities to be nice and quick for you, and then if you want to go away and spend more time doing it, then that's fine. You can take your time. So just creating a little bit more shadow by using my darker red and not pressing too hard, but just shading a little bit. Hopefully you can see the effect of that's pretty good. Okay. Oh, I needed to go under here as well. We're going to create some of that darker red. Keep turning the pencil to get that darker red to come out. Can you see how we're creating that shadow there at the bottom? Just enough where the light wouldn't be hitting the bottom of it. So already we're getting that sense of shape. That needs to just come around a little bit, I think. There we go. Right. So now for these bits, I'm going to use a grey. And I'm going to come in and just go around the edges slightly with the light grey, because that will make those white lumps look as though they've got a bit of shape. Shall I come down? Let's just come down a bit closer so you can get a better look. There we are. Okay, so you can just about see in there I'm creating a little bit of shape by adding that grey in. Just around the edges. So the light will be in the centre of those lumps, and as the lumps go down, they'll be darker around the edges. So I'm shading in some grey, and then I will come in much darker around the edges in a second. Okay. Let's see, I don't think that grey is much darker. No, it's not darker. We'll use the black, and we'll just shade that in a little bit. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. It's just creating a bit of shadow. I think it looks a lot lighter on your screen for some reason. I think I may have brightened it a bit too much. I'm just going to pause it and see if I can change that. Okay, that's a bit better. You're seeing it more like I'm seeing it. It was a bit too light for some reason. The colour was desaturated. So I'm just coming around the edges of these and making them look a bit more 3D. I'm using black, but I'm not pressing too hard. There is already some grey under there. And I'm just coming in. Some areas can be a bit darker, like there. Can make that a bit darker. And then what you could do is invest in something called a blender pencil. And what that does is blend all of that together, and it pushes it into the grain of the paper and just makes it look a lot smoother and less grainy, and kind of develops more of the feeling of reality Hopefully you can see there how that's worked. So that looks quite 3D now. So I'm going to carry on round. You feel free to fast forward or whatever you need to do. Just leave me on in the background, whatever suits you best. So again, just blend that in. It kind of crushes the pigment into the paper and gives a much smoother effect. And I'm just creating like the light in the middle there. Just kind of trying to blend that in. So it looks like that's where the light is. Okay. Yep, that looks good. Again, I'm just going to come around on these a bit darker, especially around the bottom because the light's coming from above. So just make that quite a bit darker on those edges. And you don't have to do all of this shading work. You could just colour them in one colour and do what's called flat colouring. It's absolutely fine. You do what's best for you. These books are meant for you to take away and adapt to however you want to do them. There's certainly no pressure for it to look or be anything but how you want it to look. Quite like that one, not a bit dark. The only thing is it's on the top, so it can't be that dark. So let's use the eraser when you've made an error and just take away what you want to take away. There you go. It's made it a bit lighter, hasn't it? And the same here and here. There. Just come around with a lighter grey. There. I'm happy with those now. So now we have to do the bottom part. So it's browns, different browns. So I've got 3 different browns here, like a natural brown, a dark brown and a reddy brown. So I'll do the whole thing to start with in this lighter brown colour. Remember to keep turning your pencil when you're shading like this. Just do a few strokes and then turn until you've got the base colour put down. Again, you can always fast forward me, but I do like to keep these full length for the people that like to follow along in real time. And again, I am not doing this at like a super expert level. I'm doing them nice and quick. These are supposed to be enjoyable activities, but you can, if you wanted to, use the drawings to practice and get better and better and use them in an expert way. As you can see, I'm just trying to get the colour down. It's quite a light brown, that's almost orange, isn't it? But it's okay because we're going to go over it anyway. I kind of like it. Okay, now we need the inside of the windows to be the same colour, but the door can be a different colour, can't it? I know it is in the picture, but we'll just decide what we want to do as we go along. Now, I quite like those lines showing, but again, we can go over it with a blender pencil and smooth it all out so that we've broken the pigment into the paper, and it actually helps to show the true colour. Can you see that half is so much different to that half? It's more of a golden brown now. So we'll just do that with the blending pencil. I won't bother to do the same inside the windows. They can look a little bit more dull. Fine. Nice kind of golden brown. And then we can use our other browns to come in and create shadow. So there's going to be shadow here all the way underneath the top of the mushroom because that's tucked in where it's all really dark. So we need that to be quite dark under there. I'm just going to do this is my mid brown, so I'm just going to do a layer of that and create that shadow coming down. But I'm also going to just add a bit of it to the colour of the whole base, because layering makes things look more realistic when you add lots of different colours on top of each other, especially as I'm going to leave that colour on there like that. I'm not going to blend it in because I still want to see those variations in colour. Can you see how we've got that shadow building up where the mushroom is at the top? So keep doing that. And then at the very top it's going to be very dark brown. Almost black. So I was going to pick up the black then, but I don't want to do that just yet. I just kind of want to, I think it looks fine with the brown. We've created that bit of shadow for underneath. I think it maybe needs to be a bit darker. So I'm going to come in with the black and just come in here, right under there. And I'm using the point to draw the line, but then also I'm blending it down over the brown we've already put down and just creating a nice shadow. Hopefully you can see that okay. Good. Okay, so I do have that ready brown colour which we could use more as an accent colour on the window and the door. So I'm just going to do the frames like that. Bear in mind also, I am just using copier paper. I would suggest using much thicker paper generally for when you are doing your colour work. This is only 80 GSM colour normal copy paper, so it's not the best quality. You won't get the best picture out of it, but you know, it's somewhere to start. I would say you want double that. Go up to about 200 GSM if you can, if your printer can take that thickness. It just gives you more tooth to kind of work with and more chances of being able to put some layers down. That's nice. So I'm going to come over the ridges a little bit over the door. I mean, there's all sorts you could do with this. I'm just being, as I said before, quite quick, just to give you a sense of what it can look like. And you can go away and do it yourself. Again, the book's available as a book. Just need to go to the link in bio for options or the TikTok shop. But it's also available on my W for download and printable. Coming in with some black as well. Let's get some shadow in the back of those windows. Just a little bit, because they're inside the house. And then let's get some dark shadows coming in here. Maybe a little bit at the bottom. That's coming together nicely for a quick colour. And we could go on and adding different things, and I could add some lines in here to make it look like a mushroom. Okay, so we don't forget it is actually a mushroom and not just a house. And then I can come up on the door and make it look all wooden by putting these darker areas in. Just gives it that little bit of 3D-ness and realism. Okay, again at the bottom here, a little bit of shadow as it's going to the back. Perfect. So that's it. This is looking a little bit pink for me. I'd like it to be a bit redder. Let me see if I can find a scarlet red, an actual just red, a red. Here's a scarlet red. So let's see if that makes a difference. Look, yeah, we want it to be red, not pink. For some reason that red was way too pink. So that's okay, because we can go over it now. Keep turning that pencil. Obviously you're just going to have to use whatever red you've got. I've got quite a few different sets of pencils. Not expensive ones necessarily, they're the budget range. I just buy, now and again, I'll buy some expensive ones, but just individually, not the full sets. Okay. To figure out what that sound is. So I'm literally just going over the mushroom again, and I feel a lot happier with that red. It's much more like a red. A fantasy mushroom red anyway. And it's quite nice to have the pink underneath, because it does give it that little extra touch. And you know what we could do? We could leave it kind of pale at the top, because then it looks like the light is shining on the top there. So I won't put too much around there. We'll just leave that shade there, that pinky shade. And I didn't blend the top either, did I? So we can go around and do that now, and hopefully that will help a little bit. But at the end of the day, as you can see, although I was trying to do a quick a quick colour, I keep going. And you can, that's the good thing about these things, you can keep going until you're happy with it. Or you can start again. There's always that option if you're not happy with it. And as you can see, the colour just kind of smooths out and all blends in and mixes together, and it just becomes more vibrant. It's just a small thing. Get a blender pencil, a small thing that makes a really, really big difference. Go round in circles so you don't get any streaking. I think I did the inside of the mushroom lumps, didn't I? So I don't need to worry about that. And then this lighter bit at the top can stay lighter, can stay that pink colour, because that can be where the light's shining. So it's a little bit lighter there, and we can have it really much darker down here. So I'll go over it again with the same red, and now just pressing a bit harder to make it darker, and also the extra layer will make it darker anyway. So we'll just get darker in those corners, and then a bit darker down the bottom, and then we're done, I think. There we go. It's turned out cute, hasn't it? Just lift it up so you haven't got the glare on it. Does that help? There you go. Now you can see like how much it comes to life. Sadly, the light, when it's laying down, it does take away some of the vibrancy of the image. So yeah, that's it coloured in. So if you want to have a go, you know where to go to get the books. Just go to the link in bio, go to the TikTok shop. Depending on what platform you're on. Please don't forget to like or follow whatever platform you're on, and hopefully see you in the next one. Take care everyone, and have a good day.